C'est qui le mangeur d'âme?
Il est ici.
Evan. Evan.
We are talking The Soul Eater, or at least that is the English translation of this French movie. Now, this is a thriller more than a horror movie, although arguably you could say there are horror elements to it, and it's certainly a dark film. What is the story? It focuses on two agents from different law enforcement agencies who end up both investigating related crimes that could be connected. One is there to investigate a couple of violent deaths. The other is there to investigate missing children. And initially they're at odds. They don't really seem to get on particularly well. But inevitably they end up kind of working together to try and get to the bottom of it as more bodies turn up, children have gone missing. And what is the reason? Well, there's a couple of potential explanations here. Could it be something supernatural? Everyone seems to talk about this legend of the Soul Eater. And the church seems to have some idea about what that all means. Is it this kind of supernatural force that ends up sort of taking over people, kind of getting them to do violent things? Could it be a sort of some type of dark cult that have nefarious intent for whoever kind of crosses their path? Or could it be something like even a drug situation where people are on a drug and are doing things because they are on this new street drug? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So this is based on a novel, and it kind of feels like it. It feels very much like an airport-style thriller turned into a movie. It has that sort of feel to it, if that makes sense. If you enjoy a kind of police procedural sort of style thriller movie, then this one might be for you. Its subject matter is pretty dark, and certainly as the film enters its third act, we learn some somewhat disturbing situations have gone on here, and the film certainly does take a darker tone towards the in the final act here. I have to say, I thought our two leads were very compelling. It's French language, and sometimes it's hard to really determine the acting ability when you're not kind of understanding and necessarily you're having to read subtitles. But I have to say, the physical acting, the emotional cadence that these actors gave, I thought were very strong. And to me, even though I was reading subtitles, I felt the acting was pretty solid from our two main leads. And to be fair, everyone involved in the movie, I think, is pretty good. The movie doesn't feel particularly glitzy or sort of glamorous in regards to our characters, and including our leads, all who feel very kind of down to earth and real people, and they are given some pathos. Neither of them seem to have a particularly good line of communication to people who they answer to. They seem to have their own personal trauma that's kind of gone on, and are sort of maybe keeping things to themselves there, but they may have their own sort of secrets and stuff that's going on that they don't really want to share with each other. As the film goes on, it very much is one of these movies that you don't really know what's kind of going on until the kind of the movie is at its conclusion. As the film deliberately keeps you in the dark, as well as these two characters, as you know, and you find out along with them with the investigation. So it kind of plays a little bit like a mystery. There are elements of here from other sort of crime, thriller / horror movies like Seven, for example, 8mm to name another one. So there's certainly some horror adjacent stuff, although I feel this movie certainly plays more like a thriller at times. So, you know, if you like a dark story, a kind of a gritty crime that may have sort of supernatural connections, or certainly some things here that are on the darker side of you know, cinema, then you may want to sort of check it out. It's a relatively slow-paced movie, but I feel the story was engaging enough to sort of keep me interested about, you know, these characters and where their kind of journey was going. Do I have anything on the negative side to say? I think, like I've said, the movie does play a little bit like a novel adaptation, and it's a sort of novel that you very much would find in an airport, sort of that sort of thing, you know. It feels like a crime novel. And it doesn't have a huge amount to distinguish itself, I suppose, outside of it maybe takes a darker turn than you maybe expect as the film sort of goes on. I have to say, the two things I would suggest for me that didn't quite work is the movie is very much concerned about having this mystery about what's going on and doesn't kind of reveal everything really, and right just up until the end. So it's an intriguing story with its mystery, but at the same time, it borders on being a little convoluted at times, where we have you find out some new information, and it sheds light on sort of different characters and things. And some of the stuff I feel was a little bit sort of glossed over because the movie doesn't want to spend too much time on it, because it would kind of maybe reveal certain things that is going to be pertinent later on. So you feel the movie ends up being somewhat sort of glossing over certain aspects, and it's sort of, you know, you maybe lose your place in that a little bit because the movie's deliberately trying to save certain things for reveals later. The only other thing I would say is the finale, the climax, the resolution, however you want to kind of say it. So not the whole third act, but the resolution about dealing with it is a little bit unsatisfying. Is all I will say here. I think there are elements here that it bordered on a little bit cliche and even a little bit silly, to be honest, considering the grounded nature of much of the film. There are certain aspects I wish were a little bit more expanded upon. Certain visual iconography is kind of hinted at, but I don't feel, again, is particularly kind of well expanded. And you wonder why certain characters are using certain motifs where it doesn't really seem pertinent to a certain degree. Overall, though, if you like a slow burn police procedural style movie that has a darker edge and sort of borders on horror but is more of a thriller, then I would check it out. I think it's a well-made film that has an intriguing plot with intriguing characters. It's not completely perfect, but I would suggest it's kind of an interesting watch for those who that sounds like a good idea for them. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Leave me a comment and I shall look forward to seeing you next time.